After application of a fluoropolymer coating, that contact angle climbs above 100 degrees. That is the technical definition of hydrophobic. Water no longer wets the surface. It beads. And once it beads, airflow over a moving vehicle blows the beads off the glass before they have time to spread. The reason you have not heard of this is straightforward, and it is not a conspiracy. Glass coating is a low-margin consumer product. There is no service revenue model attached to it. A bottle costs $3 to $8 and lasts a single driver months. No dealership service department promotes it because there is nothing to bill for. No oil change chain upsells it because they do not stock it. The product exists in every auto parts store in Japan and is treated as basic vehicle hygiene there. In Western markets, it sits in a niche corner of the detailing aisle, marketed to enthusiasts rather than to the general driver who would benefit from it most. There is also a genuine specification gap worth understanding. Several Japanese OEMs, including Nissan and Subaru, have offered factory-applied hydrophobic glass treatments on domestic market vehicles as either standard or low-cost options for decades. The same vehicles sold in export markets do not receive that treatment. The glass is identical. The coating is not applied at the factory. The consumer is expected to either not know or not care. The wiper blades on your car are not failing because the rubber is worn out. They are failing because the glass they slide against has become the abrasive surface in that contact pair. For $3.15 of work, a compound developed in Japan in the 1960s solves this problem so completely that a single set of wiper blades can last 4 to 5 years instead of 8 months. The same compound makes rain at highway speed roll off the glass before the wipers even need to engage. It has been the standard finish on Japanese domestic market vehicles for over 5 decades. And the reason most drivers outside Japan have never heard of it is not because it does not work. The compound is fluoropolymer-based glass coating. The chemistry traces back to Soft 99 Corporation, founded in Osaka in 1954 as a polish manufacturer. By the late 1960s, working with the silicone and fluorochemistry that was advancing rapidly in Japanese industrial research, Soft 99 developed a consumer glass treatment that bonded a hydrophobic layer directly to the silica surface of automotive glass. They named it Glaco. It went on the Japanese market in 1971 and has never left. The science behind it sits in the same family of surface chemistry that produced industrial PTFE coatings and the silicone water repellents documented in surface chemistry literature throughout the 1960s and 1970s. The contact angle that water makes with untreated automotive glass is roughly 30 degrees. If you are still with me, you already understand something most drivers will never figure out on their own. The wiper blades you keep replacing are not the problem. Subscribe so the next driver who is about to spend $40 on premium wiper blades sees this first. Share it with anyone who has ever cursed their wipers in a rainstorm. But stay here because the reason your wipers smear has nothing to do with the rubber and everything to do with what is happening at the molecular level on your windshield. Automotive glass is not smooth. Under magnification, the surface is a landscape of microscopic pits, scratches, and mineral deposits. Hard water spots are calcium and magnesium carbonate fused to the silica. Road film is a baked-on mixture of hydrocarbons, brake dust, and silicate particulate. Every time your wiper blade passes over that surface, the rubber edge is being dragged across what is effectively fine-grit sandpaper. The blade does not wear out from age. It wears out from abrasion against a contaminated glass surface. A fluoropolymer coating does two things simultaneously. First, it fills the microscopic surface irregularities with a bonded molecular layer, creating a genuinely smooth contact surface for the wiper. Second, the coating's low surface energy prevents new contamination from bonding to the glass. Road film wipes off with water. Bug residue does not bake on. Mineral deposits do not anchor. The wiper blade is now sliding across a uniform, slick, chemically inert surface instead of a contaminated abrasive one. The coefficient of friction between rubber and treated glass drops substantially compared to rubber against untreated, contaminated glass. The exact number depends on the specific contamination state of the original surface, which is why you will see different figures cited in different sources. What is consistent across the surface chemistry literature is that hydrophobic fluoropolymer coatings reduce both static and dynamic friction at rubber glass interfaces, and they prevent the contamination buildup that drives the majority of wiper blade wear. The blade is no longer being abraded. It is gliding. The visibility improvement at speed is a separate effect and worth understanding on its own terms. Above roughly 45 miles per hour, the airflow over a treated windshield carries water droplets off the glass before they coalesce into a film. Drivers who use Glaco or equivalent fluoropolymer coatings frequently report that they stop using their wipers entirely on the highway in moderate rain. This is not marketing. It is documented in owner reports across Japanese automotive forums going back to the 1980s and in Western enthusiast communities for the past 20 years. The contrast between treated and untreated vehicles is most visible in the long-term ownership data. Drivers who maintain a hydrophobic coating on their windshield report wiper blade replacement intervals of 3 to 5 years. Drivers running the same blades on untreated glass replace them every 6 to 12 months. The blades themselves are identical. The surface they slide against is the variable. A windshield treated twice a year costs less than a single set of premium wiper blades and outlasts them by a factor of 4 or 5. The product is Soft 99 Glauco. The most common consumer version is Glauco Roll-On Fast, sold in a 75 milliliter bottle with a felt applicator built into the cap. It costs between $8 and $12 in most Western markets and $3 to $5 in Japan. The active ingredient is a fluoropolymer in an alcohol solvent carrier. The technical data sheet specifies application to clean, dry glass at ambient temperatures between 5 and 35 degrees Celsius, which is 41 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not apply in direct sunlight on a hot day. Do not apply to wet glass. The procedure is straightforward. Wash the windshield thoroughly with automotive glass cleaner and dry it completely. If the glass has visible water spots or heavy contamination, use a dedicated glass polish with cerium oxide first, because the coating bonds to the glass surface and any contamination underneath becomes permanent until you decontaminate again. Once the glass is clean and dry, press the felt applicator against the surface to release the liquid and apply in overlapping straight passes across the entire windshield. The coating will appear hazy as it dries. Wait 5 minutes for it to cure, then buff off the haze with a clean microfiber towel until the glass is clear. Total application time is 10 to 15 minutes. The coating bonds chemically to the silica in the glass within the first hour and reaches full durability within 24 hours. Avoid heavy rain or car washes during that first day if possible. After that, the coating typically lasts 3 to 6 months depending on climate, washing frequency, and wiper use. Reapplication is the same procedure, no stripping required. A single 75 milliliter bottle treats a standard windshield 8 to 10 times. Total annual cost, under $5. Total annual time, under 30 minutes. The equivalent dealership glass treatment service, $80 to $150 per application. Recommended every 6 months. This is not a new technology. Fluoropolymer surface chemistry has been in industrial use since the 1950s. Soft 99 has been selling consumer glass coating for over 50 years. Japanese OEMs have factory-applied equivalent treatments on domestic market vehicles for decades. The science is documented across surface chemistry and tribology literature. None of this is hidden. It is simply not marketed to the driver who needs it most, because there is no one with a financial incentive to put it in front of you. The gap between what professionals know about glass maintenance and what the average driver knows is enormous, and it is the reason you keep buying wiper blades. Subscribe so the next driver who is about to replace wipers for the 3rd time this year sees this first. Share it with the friend whose windshield is permanently smeared no matter what blades they install. The next video covers the reason your headlights have lost 40% of their light output in the last 3 years, and the $4 UV-resistant coating that restores them to factory clarity in a single afternoon. Watch it before your next night drive in the rain, because the combination of degraded headlights and an untreated windshield is the single most dangerous visibility failure on modern vehicles, and both problems have the same kind of cheap, documented fix the industry has never bothered to tell you about.